This is the Sony WI-C310 Bluetooth headset. I've owned this one for about a year now, and I want to address today whether or not these are still worth picking up in 2021. Really quickly, before we get into the review though, I do want to make sure that Cancellation Tech is a very transparent channel so people can trust it. In the interest of transparency, I want to let you know that this Bluetooth headphone, along with some of the other headphones shown in this video, as we can tell from the boxes, are ones that I have personally picked up and paid for with my own funds. All the opinions expressed in this video are my own personal opinions. Nobody has paid for or sponsored this video, and no entity or person other than yours truly has reviewed or approved the contents in this video prior to its posting on the Untitled Tech YouTube channel. Having stated that, I also want to make clear that I first bought the Sony WI-C310 in November of 2019 and have been using it every single day since, and my observations and comments will be made based on this experience. The Sony WI-C310 is wireless in the sense that it connects to devices through Bluetooth, but I guess there's an argument to be made that this might not be truly wireless because the earbuds are connected through this cord. Whether or not you think that's relevant is very much up to you, but it's worth mentioning. Now, this cord is fairly strong and sturdy, which is a good thing, because as you might be able to notice from me holding it here, this cable is really, really long. In fact, when you compare the WI-C310s right next to its predecessor, the Sony WI-C300, it becomes quite apparent how long the WI-C310's cable actually is. Now, to be fair, Sony may have done this to address the common complaint that the WI-C300's cord or cable was a little bit on the shorter side, but I think the WI-C310s took it a little far. These are designed to be used with the cable around the neck, and I think a lot of people will find that this is a little ridiculous. I mean, this is almost like I have a necklace on, and the fact that the earbuds portion has magnets in it and they click together like this, yeah, this looks like a necklace, a really, really long necklace that's a little too big for me. This length unfortunately means that it slides around my neck a lot when I'm using it, and it can fall pretty easily too. If you are currently in the market looking for wireless headphones or headsets that you want to use while working out, the Sony WI-C310 is probably not for you. The fact that it bounces around and slides around so much makes it really distracting when you run with these on, and the length of this thing really just makes me think that this is a bit of a hazard to have on when you're in a gym-like setting surrounded by exercise equipment. Overall, it just doesn't seem to be something that you should have on when you work out. On the bright side though, while it may be long, the Sony WI-C310 is still pretty light and portable, which is nice. The sound quality on the WI-C310s is actually fairly decent. It's a little weak on the bass, but when you're dealing with Bluetooth headphones, especially ones that have been designed in this manner, you gotta give it some leeway when it comes to audio quality. To put it simply, the Sony WI-C310s are great for listening to podcasts and audiobooks, and are also fine for just watching YouTube videos with. As far as listening to music goes, they're alright. They're not going to be perfect, they're not going to blow your mind, and they're certainly not going to impress the audiophile in your life, but they're alright. On top of that, in my experience, the Sony WI-C310's battery life lasts somewhere between 8 to 10 hours per charge. The battery on the WI-C310, by the way, is charged through its USB-C port. This means that you can charge this with either the included USB-C charging cord, which is really short by the way, or use really any kind of USB-C charging cable that you have lying around, be it a charging cable for your phone, tablet, etc. The beauty of USB-C. Charging the WI-C310 doesn't really take very long, and in my experience, going from 0% to 50% battery usually takes about a 30 to 40 minute long charge, which is pretty fast. Now, admittedly, those numbers are based on what the Sony WI-C310s told me, because the Sony WI-C310s come with an internal voice system that informs you of different things like whether or not the headphones are on, or whether or not, or how much battery life your headphones currently have. On top of that, it can also inform you of when the headphones are connecting, disconnecting, or pairing to another device. On that note, the Sony WI-C310s also come with voice support, meaning it supports Google or Siri. Unfortunately, I don't use those voice assistance / voice command features on my phone, so I can't tell you how good the experience is, but those are apparently options that you get with the Sony WI-C310. Out of the box, the WI-C310s also come with a few different ear tips. This allows the user to change the ear tip to one that is actually comfortable to them. hopefully. Now, ear shape differs from person to person, and there is really no guarantee that these ear tips, well, these various options as far as ear tips go, will be enough to meet everyone's ear needs, you could say. But the fact that there are different options is a nice touch, and I think it's something that we can all appreciate. Bluetooth experience with the WI-C310s have been pretty good. Initial pairing was done pretty easily, and pairing with new devices has also been quite easy since then as well. I haven't personally run into any problems as far as the Bluetooth range goes. When you have it connected to your smartphone in your pocket, there's definitely no problems. When you connect it to a device that is a little bit more stationary, say a laptop, I find the Bluetooth range to be around 5 to 6 feet, depending on your surroundings, depending on whether or not there are obstacles in your area. The Sony WI-C310 comes with 3 buttons: the volume up button, the power button, which also serves as the pause and play button, and the volume down button. As far as button commands go, the experience has been a bit of a hit or miss. See, the Sony WI-C310s, like other Bluetooth headphones that are currently on the market, are supposed to support these nifty tricks, like, for example, long pressing the volume up button will lead to the next track, and long pressing the volume down button leads to the previous track. That sort of tricks, I guess you could call it, or features. In the case of the Sony WI-C310s, when connected to Android devices, I've generally found that these commands tend to work quite well. There were a few devices that didn't support it, but they were some niche Android tablets and whatnot that were lacking in a lot of other ways as well, so I wasn't necessarily surprised that these weren't necessarily supported. When connected to a PC or Chromebook though, the special volume commands didn't work. The volume up and volume down button worked when connected to those devices in the sense that you could lower the volume or raise the volume, but the special commands where you can skip a track and whatnot, those just didn't work on those devices. I don't know if I was doing something wrong on my end. I don't know if this is necessarily unique to Sony WI-C310s either. It's just something that I think is worth pointing out. On the back of the buttons though, there is a microphone. And it's worth mentioning because it's bad. If you use this microphone, you will sound like little Timmy who fell down the well. I'm not kidding. This mic just makes everything sound echoey, tingy, and it just doesn't pick up your voice very well. And if it does, your voice just sounds overblown and distorted. It's just really not a good experience at all. You will sound like you're coming from the bottom of a well. It's just bad. And I don't know why Sony decided to put this microphone here. I don't think anyone would have complained if they didn't put a microphone in here at all, but they did, and it sucks. And as long as I'm listing out cons, let me list out a few more. The Sony WI-C310s, unlike the predecessor, the Sony WI-C300, which I have here, the Sony WI-C310 does not come with NFC. See, this was actually a really cool feature that the Sony WI-C300 came with. It came with an NFC thing, which, look, I'm not a huge NFC guy, I don't really use it a lot, but it is a neat feature that I think a lot of people actually found to be fairly useful, and the fact that they removed it is a bit of a bummer. It's also worth mentioning that the Sony WI-C310 can only be connected to one device at a time. It would have been really cool if I could connect to 3 different devices and I could just switch between these devices that I am paired to. This is something that I actually find a little bit annoying about the Sony WI-C310. The WI-C310 also lacks water/sweat resistance, which isn't a big deal once again because this isn't really meant to be used with sports, but it's one of those features that would have been nice to have anyway. It also comes with no noise cancellation either, which once again would have been nice to have. Where it lacks in features though, the Sony WI-C310 makes up for by having a variety of different color choices, like a black one, a white one, and a blue one. Fantastic, isn't it? And yes, I paid for all 3 of these things. Yes, and not just because I actually like the Sony WI-C310 as a product. I actually have a really good reason for this. I have several devices that I use on a regular basis that lack a 3.5mm headphone jack nowadays. It's a very unfortunate industry trend, but sometimes I have to use these devices all at once, and I'm not necessarily always in a position where I'm comfortable just having the audio just going out of the speakers for these devices. So what I would like to do is just have one Bluetooth wireless earbud that I can easily switch between all these devices that I've paired with. But since once again the Sony WI-C310 only lets you pair it with one device at a time, it's just a a lot easier for me to have 3 of them connected to all 3 of my devices, so I can just switch between them, between each device by switching between each Bluetooth earbud. I don't know if that made a whole lot of sense, but the point is, it's just convenient, and it made a lot of sense for my particular use case, and it just didn't cost a lot to actually do it, which leads us to the topic of price, by the way. At MSRP, the Sony WI-C310 is sold for $39.99. You can find them at stores like Best Buy and Amazon. At MSRP, the Sony WI-C310s are a little bit difficult to recommend, and here's why. There are plenty of great Bluetooth earbuds that don't have the problems that the Sony WI-C310 has, or comes with features that the Sony WI-C310 lacks, for example, sweat resistance, that you can buy for around that $40 price range. And when you can buy those, I don't know why you would go for the Sony WI-C310. Having said that though, it is also worth pointing out that the Sony WI-C310 goes on sale pretty frequently. And it frequently goes on sale for $18. $18, not $39.99, $18. And at $18, the Sony WI-C310s are worth it. While, as we have discussed, the Sony WI-C310 is flawed in many ways, it also does a lot of things right. It's pretty sturdy and strong, it comes with USB-C, it comes with an invoice system that is pretty neat, it comes with a lot of these features that are pretty nice to have. Now, the flaws make it a little bit difficult to recommend at $40, but at $18, look, you're just not going to find Bluetooth earbuds that are as well made as these are at the $18 to $20 range. You're certainly not going to find a lot of Bluetooth earbuds or Bluetooth wireless headsets, I guess, that come with USB-C at the $20 price range. So when it's on sale at $18, the Sony WI-C310s are definitely worth it. As to whether or not it's worth it in 2021, the short answer is the Sony WI-C310s are worth it if, one, you know what you're getting into. You know the flaws that exist with this device, you understand that, you know, the cord might be a bit too long, you understand that you might not be able to use it when you're working out. As long as you understand the limitations and the flaws that exist in this device, and you're willing to live with it, one, and two, as long as you can buy it when it's on sale. For the people who can meet these two factors, I think the Sony WI-C310s are still worth it in 2021. And that's all I got for you today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you found it to be useful in any way, shape, or form, hit the like button, and if you want to follow more of what's going to be happening on the Octillionth Tech channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button.